Hi, welcome to Andrew Buckle video tutorial on Affinity Photo and selections and a Deform filter. You can create some really weird and wonderful designs by using selections with that filter. So let's start. I've got a gradient design here that I actually created using Deform filter earlier with channels. So what I'm going to do, just going to quickly go right back to the start. Now, of course, over here and also here as well, you've got select menu. You've got a whole range of different selection features here. Now, I'm not going to use those, but you could use those as well. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go now rectangular, marquee, elliptical, all fine, but I'm going to go with freehand. And what you can do, you can go for add. So I'm just going to add. So I'm just going to create selection around different places. You know, you look at that and think, you know what, that's a nice bit of design. That's a nice bit of design, whatever. Just select something. So you've got your design there, you've got some selections. Or what you can do, you can go to select, and you can also use maybe like some of these as well. I'm going to use feather. And I can just feather it a bit, so maybe not that much, but say 60 odd. Something like that, reasonable, click apply. So now it's feathered, so the selection is spread out sort of. Now, once you've done that, what you can do, you can go to filters. Now I could of course use the repeat, but I'm not. I'm going to go for distort and deform. So then, because quite often when you've got a repeat, it doesn't always deform the area that you want to deform, because all the area it deforms will be this area. Now you can select from outside. You can add pins or handles, whatever they're called, outside. Definitely reasonable, but nothing outside will be modified. Even though you've got these pins outside. You can have the pins inside as well. Now, the more pins you have, actually I did notice today when I was just doing it and I added about 50 pins or whatever, 40 pins, something like that, it really got slow. Clearly there's some processing happening when you add these little dots onto things. So probably best to keep it a reasonable number. Don't put too many on it, otherwise, unless you've got a powerful machine that can handle that. But for mine, I did notice it slightly. However, what you can do, but anything you change, it doesn't change outside. So you can see you can drag that colour from there, drag it in. So I go over here. Now I'm just going to go for similarity. Click there, add a pin, and you can see as you do that, you've got that red. That's what you're bringing in. So click there again, and you can see the red again. That's what it's bringing in when you got that. But you also notice it's also distorting that, so you might want to drag that up a bit. If you start seeing, unfortunately there's no pin to the edge feature. Not I'm aware of. Maybe someone could put a comment and say, yes there is a way of doing it, other than just putting pins all around the whole picture. That forces it not to do it. However, what you can do, you can still drag in and you can, now you'll notice I drag that through. It doesn't affect here, where it's slightly, very subtle, because of course there was some feathering. That was the reason I put the feathering. So you can just see a slight bit on it out there. But you can see it going through that to that selection. And you can drag that out. And again, you can just see it just slightly going into the rest of it. And you can go from there and you can drag out. But anything you drag out, it doesn't go any further. You just get it to that edge. So you can drag it out and you can push it up to that edge. And you can do that with all of it, of course, all the way around. It's actually quite nice to create, say, like a central bit there, where if you want it like white in the centre, and then you have one edge all the way around. It's quite a nice way of doing that. And you can do that. Anyway, you can see you can tweak it in heart's content. Click apply. Always remember to do that. What you can also do, of course, with this is you can move it. Not when you've got that, though. You've just got that plus. What I want to do, I want to move it. So I'm going to go to rectangular and I can move that selection. And also I can add to it, of course. I can go back to this, let's just go freehand selection, and I can just add some more. Maybe select there. And then of course what I can do, instead of, I could just go back to filters and distort again, perfectly reasonable. But what I can do repeat deform. And you can see what happens, it just deforms that area there, just within that confines, and you can see it creates a nice contour design doing that approach. Now what you can do, of course, is you can, now obviously because you're going to get this edge, it's not so good, but I'm just going to, you can do, well, let's just do properly, select, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go for, that looks quite a nice, interesting bit. Say that bit. And what you can do, filters, distort and deform. Let's just deform that bit. And you can say deform that and change that, modify that in numerous ways. And you can see you can create some very weird and wonderful designs in that. And you can repeat the deform if you want. And you can see it actually create some very nice sort of shading, sort of their three-dimensional effect. But I want to go back to that point. What you can do, you can go here to the rectangle. I can move it. I can move it elsewhere. But what I want to do in this case, I want to select this and copy and paste. So edit, copy and paste. And now I'm going to get rid of that selection. And I can move that object around. So you can see that design can be duplicated, of course. You can hold down the selection, the alter option, and you can create multiple copies of this design. And then, of course, you can maybe select them all. Once it lets you select them all, layer and merge visible. So you've got that design there, and you can move. Do you want merge visible? Just want to merge those ones. Layer and merge selected. Does help. There is a difference. Just wanted those ones selected. So you can see offsetting that one. However, you can resize it, you can move it around, but you can also, of course, apply the repeat deform or go to distort and deform. And you can then add some pins there, or handles, whatever you want to call them, and you can distort that design. You can see you can create some very weird and wonderful droplets going out here. But also what you can do, and I'm just going to do it after I've done this, I'm just going to create a couple of designs here. I'm just going to drag that out because I wanted that. Okay, something like that. Looks very weird, alien design there. And now you've got this design, and I'm just going to resize it a bit. But what you can do, of course, you can use selections on that. So again, you can go to freehand selection and maybe select there. And again, make some add there, select there. Maybe select that, looks quite interesting a little bit. Select there, these droplets, or select there. Anyway, select something. Filters, distort and deform. And again, what you've got is similarity, and you can add some pins there, and you can distort that design within that area. And again, from outside, you can drag that around. Go there, you can see that lovely colour there, so you can drag, you can do all kinds of different things just to distort this design in all kinds of different ways. And again, of course, what you can do, you can always go over here. Let's just go to this rectangular. Oh, before I do it, remember always to click apply. Nearly didn't do it himself. Nearly thought, okay, I've done it. Always click apply, otherwise you'll lose that. Then you can, of course, go over here and you can use rectangle marker. You can move it around. But again, you might not actually want that. You might want different areas. So you can always select a different part. You don't have to do the same selection, of course. So you can select a different part. Again, repeat, deform if you want, and so on and so on. So you can see you can create a lot of unusual designs using this feature. Similarity, and again, modify this design, drag this around, drag that into the design, and you can see all kinds of weird and wonderful droplets and everything. Click apply, it's possible. Select, deselect. And of course, this is a layer. This layer design can be, again, duplicated, and so on and so on. You can see the sort of thing you can do with this. Just multiple copies, and just then combine them again. And you've got lots of different droplets all across the image, which of course can then all be, again, select all, layer, and merge selected, not merge visible. And this design, in turn, can be deformed with selections if you want, or just purely on its own. So you can distort that even more. And that's the power of selections with deform. So you can see you can create some truly weird designs from a very basic very basic design. And with obviously a bit of time and effort and just carefully doing things instead of randomly doing it like I've done, you can actually create some lovely contour designs, which with these holes in. And of course, once you've done that, you can always go to repeat again, and you can get another design and save it, of course. You can always go to File and Save, and then filter, repeat, deform, and File and Save. You can literally create infinite amount of nice distortion designs, which are all on layers, which can be duplicated again and again. Well, I hope you found this tutorial of interest. Always adding new tutorials about Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and many others, Illustrator, Photoshop, etc. Also, if you've got any questions, anything that I didn't explain well enough, please let me know. It's always great to hear have some comments about various things. Also, please subscribe. Always adding videos all the time. Hopefully, videos that people like. That's even better. Also, a dislike or like, thumbs up, thumbs down, always great as well. Thank you much for that. And thank you much. Bye.